The firemen pulled up and we just kept screaming, there's kids in there. There's 3 kids. Get the babies out of the house.
Breaking this morning, new video shows the moment a house catches fire with 2 toddlers, another child inside, 3 children dead. 6 o'clock, good morning, I'm John Snell.
And I'm Kelsey Davis. We're staying on top of that deadly overnight fire in New Orleans East. Josh Robertson is live at the scene with the latest.
Hey, John, Kelsey, and right as you look here behind me, you can see that the chaos is over with. All of the scene has been cleared, except for the front of the home, which is burned here behind me. A little bit ago, we did see investigators place a little bit of yellow tape. This whole area was blocked off about an hour ago, but they placed a little bit of yellow tape right in the front of the home, indicating that that is still a crime scene at this time. And so we know, again, as you said, John, 3 children are dead this morning, 2 of them toddlers. One of them, as we know right now, is being investigated. Their death is being investigated as a homicide, according to the NOPD. Now, the fire department told us information a little bit earlier this morning, gave us info saying that 3 children were killed. When we got here on scene, the fire was put out, but they were still working it, and we spoke to some neighbors. One of the neighbors gave us some ring camera footage where you can clearly see the fire beginning, the early stages of that fire. At first, it starts to shoot out of a window on the right side of the home, and it quickly starts to build. You see black smoke coming out of the front door in the front of the house. You see the flames start to get bigger and bigger by seconds. In just seconds, it did not take long for the fire to really start to get bigger and bigger. In that video, you see a man, or it looks like a person or a man, walking out of the front of that home, getting into a car and driving away as that fire is starting to build. As of right now, we do not know who that man is. Police have not told us if that person is a suspect. We have put out calls to them this morning trying to get more information. Again, one of the children's deaths is being investigated right now as a homicide. And so, again, we don't know if the person walking out of that home was related to the victims. We don't know if they are wanted for questioning or wanted as a suspect at this time. But you can still see from that chilling video just that fire beginning to build up as you see a person walking out of that front door of that home, knowing what we know now, and that is that there were 3 children inside of that home at that time. Fire department tells us when they walked in, they first got in, they noticed one of the children was just feet away from the front door. They quickly found a second child, got both of them out. They were taken to the hospital, but were told, unfortunately, they died at the hospital. The third child was brought out and placed in a coroner van about an hour ago when the scene was still ongoing. And just speaking with neighbors out here, they were just absolutely crushed to find out that those 3 children were dead. One of the neighbors we spoke to said she knew those children from the time that they were born and was just distraught to learn that they had died. Take a listen.
They pulled the oldest son out first.
They said he was right by the door.
And then they pulled out the youngest one, the baby. But they never pulled the little girl out. And we kept saying they still have a little girl in there. Y'all didn't pull the little girl out. My husband was helping give CPR. The kids were on the lawn and we had to hurry up and move them because the flames were coming down.
That was a neighbor that provided the ring camera footage to us. She did not wish to be identified, but again, several neighbors I spoke to this morning just absolutely leveled learning this news, and we have not heard about the mother in this situation at all. We don't know. I was told by one of the neighbors that the mother did show up to the home as the fire was still ongoing and obviously was distraught to learn about what had happened, and so we're still looking for more information. Again, I have put out a call to NOPD to get more information on this situation. And possibly try to learn more about the individual we saw in that surveillance video walking out of that home as that fire was really starting to rage. But again, a clear scene here now this morning. But again, yellow tape still in front of the door of that home that is burnt, and indicating it is still a crime scene. And we know NOPD investigating one of those children's deaths right now as a homicide. Guys.
And I guess, Josh, I mean, the NOPD may be way out in front of this. The person gets in a car, that car could be readily identifiable to people who might know that person. We just don't know we really don't know at this point what the police know.
Yes.
All right, Josh.
Right,
Robertson.
Exactly. That's exactly right, John. I mean, obviously, NOPD is investigating this right now. We aren't going to jump to any conclusions, obviously, about who that individual was. But the video is clear as day. You see the fire starting to build. You see somebody walk out of the front door. If you're the police, obviously, that's a person you would like to question. We haven't gotten that information at this point, but we aren't going to jump to any conclusions on that. But you said it, John. NOPD probably well out in front of this one at this time.
All right, Josh Robertson live on America Street. More on that throughout the morning. In the meantime,